Yo, what's up, everyone? This is a tragic story of how the last free Native Americans on the Great Plains went from dominating warriors to being forced onto reservations in just a few decades. We're talking about Sitting Bull, Crazy Horse, and the end of an entire way of life. Let's dive in. All right. So Sitting Bull is this legendary Lakota warrior and medicine man living on the Great Plains. The Plains Indians had adopted horses from Europeans and became these incredible nomadic hunters, following massive bison herds. But by the 1860s, everything's starting to fall apart. White settlers are moving west, hunting bison to near extinction. We're talking 3,000 killed per day between 1872 and 1874. In 1864, American troops massacre a Cheyenne Arapaho village at Sand Creek, killing women and scalping children. Chiefs like Sitting Bull refused to sign treaties with the U.S. government. Another chief, Red Cloud, actually wins a war against the U.S. in 1868, getting the Fort Laramie Treaty that grants the Lakota huge reservation lands and hunting territories. But there's a hidden clause. The hunting lands only stay indigenous as long as there's enough bison to justify hunting. The government's basically setting them up to fail. In 1873, railroad surveyors push into Lakota territory with 1,500 cavalry led by George Custer. Sitting Bull and Crazy Horse raid them constantly, and they're forced to retreat. Then Custer secretly finds gold in the Black Hills, sacred Lakota land. President Grant issues an ultimatum in December 1875. By January 31st, 1876, every Lakota must be on a reservation or be shot like buffalo. Sitting Bull refuses. Instead, he rallies a massive 10,000-person coalition of Lakota, Dakota, and Cheyenne warriors. At a Sundance ceremony, Sitting Bull has a vision. Enemy soldiers filling the sky like grasshoppers, falling to their deaths. Days later, American troops attack. Crazy Horse leads 750 warriors in a 6-hour battle, halting the U.S. advance. A week later, more soldiers attack their village on the Bighorn River. Then George Custer arrives with another detachment, but the Indian encampment is twice as large as he expected. Masterful horse warriors swarm his positions. Crazy Horse leads a charging mass of hundreds. Cheyenne and Lakota warriors shoot arrows and bullets into Custer's pack, then pour onto them with tomahawks and knives. They leave none alive. Custer is found mutilated. This is the Battle of Little Bighorn, Custer's last stand. From Congress comes vengeance. Representatives pass a law compelling the Lakota to give up lands outside reservations and sell the Black Hills. The 1868 treaty required 75% of adult male Lakota to sign for any land transfer. Congress passes it with just 10% approval. 7 million acres are seized. Crazy Horse eventually reports to a reservation. When he's arrested months later, a soldier kills him with a bayonet. Sitting Bull flees to Canada where bison are still plentiful. But after a few years, those bison vanish too. In 1881, Sitting Bull surrenders, saying, "I wish it to be remembered that I was the last man of my tribe to surrender my rifle." Hope comes in 1889 when a Paiute prophet named Wovoka claims that performing the ghost dance will bring back dead ancestors, drive out whites, and restore the buffalo. Tribes across the West begin dancing. Paranoid officials fear Sitting Bull, supports the movement, and order his arrest. In 1890, reservation police surround his cabin. A struggle breaks out. Officers shoot Sitting Bull in the chest and head, killing him. His 14-year-old son Crowfoot is pulled from under a bed and shot to death. Many of Sitting Bull's followers join Chief Spotted Elk's camp. U.S. troops from Custer's old 7th Cavalry force them to Wounded Knee Creek. When soldiers try to confiscate guns, a struggle prompts them to shell the camp with cannons. They kill all the Lakota warriors, then shoot fleeing women, children, and elderly. Nearly 300 dead left frozen in a winter storm. The U.S. passes laws fracturing reservations, allowing white settlement on promised lands. Officials restrict rations to force families to sell land, ban indigenous religion, and take children to residential schools that forbid traditional languages. One headmaster explains the goal: kill the Indian in him and save the man. By the late 19th century, fewer than 1,000 buffalo remain from herds of 60 million. The Great Plains sound different now. The churning scream of iron has replaced the thunder of bison. In 1909, the old Chief Red Cloud, now nearly blind, reflects on destruction. I who used to own rich soil in a well-watered country so extensive that I could not ride through it in a week on my fastest pony, am put down here. I who used to control 5,000 warriors must tell Washington, when I'm hungry, I must beg for that which I own. The Fall of the Plains Indians, one of history's most tragic chapters. Peace out, everyone.